Hi, welcome to this section of cardiology, the study of the heart. This is Dr. Jaitly. I'll be talking to you about, pertinently in this section, what is cholesterol? That's a commonly asked question, and one should be aware these days, specifically in this day and time, to have some basic and fundamental knowledge about what cholesterol is. Cholesterol is a fatty substance which is flowing within your blood, normally present in your body. Now, the heart is circulating blood all around the body. Here's the heart, which is a circulating pump shown in 4 chambers, this being the booster chamber, and it's constantly sending blood every beat of your heartbeat into the system through the aorta. And the first set of branches, obviously, that arise from the aorta are these coronary arteries. And if you look at these arteries, they look like this. They're open vessels, and they are taking blood to the heart. So heart supplies the body, but heart has its own supply. And likewise, every organ in the body has its own supply. But take, for example, the coronaries. Now, to begin with, if the orifices are normal, you can have a normal flow. But over a period of time, the obstructions begin to occur, and that's where the narrowing occurs, depending upon the kind of food we eat, the kind of activity we have, or the whole different story about the genes, or there are certain ill habits that we develop over a period of time where we begin smoking or drinking, etc. So all of that will impact in your cholesterol balance, we call it. Now, is there a such thing called good and bad cholesterol? Yes, there is. The body likes to make cholesterol. Remember, we make anything for a purpose, right? So what is the purpose? The purpose is clear. We like to make it for digestive juices, enzymes, brain linings. Brain cells have a specific lining to the cells, which is rich in cholesterol. And then, of course, we need it for our mere existence because it's present a lot in huge amounts in our testicles and in our ovaries. So because it's constantly producing those hormones, the reproductive hormones. So cholesterol is required for our mere existence, no question about that. But is there such a thing called a balance between a good and bad cholesterol? Yes, there is. And that's what determines genetically or by genes what your lifespan would be and what your tendency towards obstructions to these vessels within the arterial system will determine your longevity and your symptoms. Now, I'm sure you've heard of people where they live with no symptoms at all for a long period of time. And that's because they have a genetic predisposition where the good and bad cholesterols are in a balance, and of course they're active, they don't have any problems with the weight, they eat a healthy diet, and in general you'll see that most of these people do not smoke and do not indulge in alcohol. So a healthy lifestyle, in other words, will determine how good your arterial system is and therefore will determine what your lifespan will be. So we'll talk more in details in subsequent sections, but just to let you know, there is a normal range for cholesterol. It's less than 200. We need it obviously for a purpose I just mentioned, and we get it from either from the animal source of the food, or the body likes to make it on its own. The liver likes to make it, and we like to maintain a normal balance within the human body. But if the balance gets disturbed, obviously that leads into trouble, and that's where these plaques or these fatty streaks will form. Like smoking, for instance, I'll give you an example. It lowers your good cholesterol, so the balance is disturbed in that, it's tipped in that fashion. And drinking will lead to high bad cholesterol, so that's another way that it can get disturbed. So you have to have a right balance between your good cholesterol and bad cholesterol in order to have these arteries wide open. Because once these plaques start to form, that's where the problems will occur in different parts of the body, whether they occur in brain, then patients are prone for strokes. If they occur in the heart, obviously you're prone for heart attacks. If they occur in the kidneys, then the renal failure can happen. So all of this, and increasingly these factors are being realized by various regions in the world, that they're starting now to straighten out the habits of what we eat and how we lead our lives. And the whole thing is about lifestyle modifications, and you'll see increasingly more people are now, even if they are genetically predisposed, will follow the recommendations like staying active, controlling your weight, and keeping your habits very, very clean of any smoking or drinking, etc., etc. All right, we'll talk more in our next presentations. Hope you enjoyed this section, and we'll keep learning as we move forward. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.